So this one is a curve, two opposite curves. So I cut my pattern piece out and then I decide my style line. Then I make notches, right? So when I separate, it has the notch position. Then I trace them again. I trace them with seam allowance. You can see here the original piece shape, but then with seam allowance. So what's going to happen with this one, for sure, look at this. These don't match together at all, but these do because of the seam allowance. So with this one, because it's curved, it's a lot about pivoting. So when I'm going to pivot, I have to start here at this intersection, right? I don't think about matching these two edges. I'm thinking about matching this intersection. Because as I'm going to sew 1 centimeter inside the line, and I'm going to move along. And then as I'm moving along, I'm matching my notches. So I'm just sewing 1 centimeter inside the line. You have to do it very accurately or it doesn't come out. So I stitch a little bit, turn a little bit, stitch a little bit, turn a little bit, like this. And then I come here. Got it? Okay, so it's the same principle as this. Oh, I lost my circle. Oh, thank you. I have 2 circles, okay? I start here in the center, and if I walk them off together, it should wind up coming to the same point, right? So just think about the inside line. I don't know if that one analogy helps. Also, the Facebook group, if you have video that I didn't put up, you're welcome to put it up. You don't have to be an admin to put a video up in the Facebook group. In fact, I really appreciate it if you do. Okay, so here's my sample. So I have 2 pieces that don't fit together at all, right? They're not even look like the same shape, but actually they are. So I flip this guy over and I'm going to start here at the intersection. So where the 2 pieces meet at 1 centimeter. Maybe I should put a magnet in there. So what I do in this case is sew a little bit. Actually, I don't want the magnet here. Sew a little bit, turn a little bit. Sew a little bit, turn a little bit. And I'm trying to feed the 2 pieces of fabric in at the same rate. And sometimes when I get an opposite corner, I might have to pull a little bit because the seam allowance edge is smaller than the other side. Like for example, over here in this corner, where I've got, they're basically going off in 2 different directions. I have to sew a little bit and pivot as I'm sewing, and then it comes out the same. I also have the patterns out so if you're thinking that your pieces don't fit, check them on the pattern. Sometimes they shift a little bit when cutting, which makes the difficulty even more difficult. So when I'm going to do this one, because the curve is so tight, I'm going to clip a little bit. I don't clip all the way to the seam allowance. I just clip about 0.5 in on the shorter side so that I can push my seam allowance outward, so it's going to sit flat when I stitch it. Otherwise, it's a little bit too tight.
So you only clip the one side?
Yeah, I just clip the one side. I'm gonna cut it off after anyway. Then I go ahead and I do my 0.1 top stitch. I hear something, my machine is doing something weird underneath. I heard it. So after I have top stitched it, I do a very good job. Then I trim the seam allowance back just to a couple of millimeters before. This will help it to lay flat and it'll look smoother.
You don't serger it?
No, not in this case. But you could, in theory. Yeah, anyway, that's another topic. So